So, saving your first 10 grand. It can feel like this impossible mountain to climb, right? But what if it wasn't about willpower or luck or earning some six-figure salary? What if it's just about having the right system? In this explainer, we're not just going to talk about saving money. We're going to actually build the system that does the saving for you. Let's get into it.
Let's start with just one number, $400. You know, on its own, it might not seem like a ton of money, but this number, it reveals a massive crack in the financial foundation of millions and millions of people. So get this, according to the U.S. Federal Reserve, nearly 4 out of every 10 adults would have to borrow money, sell something, or just couldn't pay if they were hit with an unexpected $400 expense. Think about that. A car repair, a surprise medical bill. That's literally all it takes to throw a huge chunk of the population into a total financial tailspin. And look, if that statistic makes you feel a little anxious, I really need you to hear this loud and clear. This is not a personal failure. It's not because you lack discipline or you're bad with money. You're struggling because nobody ever taught you how to build a system for it. Today, we're going to fix that.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with that emergency. Then we'll walk through 3 concrete steps to build our system. Optimizing your spending, automating the whole thing, and then increasing your income. And we'll finish with the most crucial part, adopting the identity of a saver.
Okay, first things first, we got to get a handle on where your money's actually going. But forget everything you've ever heard about budgeting, and I mean everything. We are not going to track every single coffee and make you feel guilty about it. This is about optimizing, not agonizing.
This whole idea comes from author Ramit Sethi, and he calls it conscious spending. The key is to figure out what you truly, truly value. Maybe you love to travel, or go to concerts, or buy amazing food. Awesome. The goal is to spend extravagantly on that. But in exchange, you become absolutely ruthless about cutting costs on the stuff you couldn't care less about.
So this right here, this is a super powerful target to aim for. It's the conscious spending plan. It breaks down like this. About 60% of your take-home pay covers your fixed costs. A really important 10% goes to long-term investments, and 5% goes to other savings goals. But that last slice, that 25% for guilt-free spending, oh, that is where the magic happens. That is your permission slip to enjoy your money, because you know all the important stuff is already taken care of.
Okay, let's make this super real. Say your monthly take-home pay is $3,500. Your fixed costs would be around $2,100. You'd automatically zap $350 to investments, $175 to savings, and you'd have $875 left over. That's almost $900 you can spend on anything you love without a single ounce of guilt, because you already paid your future self first. So just for a second, I want you to ask yourself this. If a total stranger looked at just your bank statements from last month, what would they assume you value most in life? And is that the story you actually want to be telling?
All right, so once you've figured out where your money should go, the next step is to make it happen without you ever having to lift a finger again. This is where we build the actual system. This is where your money finally starts working for you, not the other way around.
This is the whole system, right here. And the absolute best part, you only have to set this up once. Your paycheck lands in your checking account, the very next day, bam! An automatic transfer sends money to savings. Another one, bam! Sends money to investments. Your bills get paid automatically. Whatever is left over in your checking account, that's your guilt-free spending money. Simple as that. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. What if my percentages aren't perfect? What if I pick the wrong savings account? Stop right there. Ramit Sethi calls this the 85% solution. Look, it's way, way better to get a system up and running today that's, say, 85% right than to waste months agonizing over getting it 100% perfect and, well, doing nothing at all. You can always adjust it later. Just get started.
Okay, so your spending is optimized, your savings are on autopilot. Now we get to hit the gas. Step 3 is all about strategically juicing your income so you can hit that $10,000 goal way, way faster.
And hey, this isn't about grinding yourself to the bone with a second full-time job. No way. This is about smart moves. It could mean building a case to negotiate a raise. Or maybe it's finding a new job, which is often where you have the most leverage to ask for more money. You could even freelance a few hours a week using skills you already have. But here is the golden rule. When you get that raise, you have to automatically save at least half of the new money. That's how you beat lifestyle creep, where your spending just magically expands to eat up your new income.
Let's just pause on that for a second. Really think about that question.
What if all the stress, all the guilt you've ever felt about money wasn't because you're bad at it, but just because you've been playing the game without a system? Designing that system, it changes everything.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. This is what makes all the other steps stick for good. Because the mechanics are great, but the real win isn't just seeing 10 grand in an account. The real transformation is becoming the kind of person who saves and builds wealth, just as a natural part of who you are.
James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, has this amazing insight. Every single time your automated system moves $50 into your savings account, that isn't just a transaction, it's a vote. You are casting a ballot for your new identity as someone who's in control of their finances.
And this, right here, is such a game-changing shift in thinking. Goal-based thinking sounds like, I'm trying to save. It feels like a struggle, right? But identity-based thinking says, I am a person who builds wealth. It's not something you're trying to do, it's just who you are. And your system just automates the actions that prove it.
So how do you actually do this? It's simple. Whenever you're faced with a financial choice, big or small, you just quietly ask yourself this question. What would a financially savvy person do here? That question becomes your North Star. It'll gently guide you toward the right answer, and it reinforces that new identity every single time. Okay, so let's wrap this all up into a nice, clean blueprint. Step 1, optimize. Use that conscious spending plan to pour money into the things you love. Step 2, automate. Build the system that pays you first, so saving is effortless. And step 3, increase. Strategically boost your income to speed the whole thing up. And it's all powered by that identity shift. This is the system that gets you to $10,000 and, well, way, way beyond.
And just a quick heads up, all of this is for educational purposes only. Please make sure you consult with a financial professional for advice that's tailored to your unique situation.
You know, we started this whole conversation with a simple problem, a $400 emergency. But the system we've just built together, it does so much more than just solve that. It creates freedom. It creates options. It allows you to define and live your version of a rich life. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. You now have the blueprint to build a powerful financial system. What are you going to build with it?